Yo, what is going on, my beautiful viewers? It is your boy Chuck the Cyber Cock, and with me today I have Seth the Bitch.
What's up, my super programmers? Grown 38-year-old man here talking about Dragon Ball. Welcome to my super harem. What's up, guys? Seth the Pussy here. Be sure to hit that fucking subscribe button if you like this kind of content, if you like what I do, you like debunk, and you like Dragon Ball and Saitama. Also, be sure to hit that like button as well. And today's video will be how strong is Saitama compared to Dragon Ball. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's do two different scenarios. One, Saitama is a gag joke character. He's not, but let's say he is. And then we'll see how far he gets into Dragon Ball. And then we're going to do one scenario where he's just a parody character like he should be, and how strong he would be based off of feats and stuff like that. So how strong do you think, if Saitama was a gag character, how far do you think he'd get into the Dragon Ball series?
I mean, it's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly where, but we do know that he'd, at the very, very least, be below Beerus. Like any shape, way, or form, because Beerus had already got shit on Rayleigh. He would have matched up, against Super Saiyan Blue Goku. And even Vegeta, when he changed his fighting style to gag comic style, he was still getting his shit kicked in. And she just, shit out 100 times power, out of nowhere. And even that kind of power wouldn't work on Beerus, right? But of course, there's different levels of gag characters, right? They're all not at the same power, For example, Bugs Bunny is way beyond Rayleigh because he can fucking
can rewrite. He can basically become the author,
and Rayleigh can't do that, and neither can Saitama. So if Saitama, can quote unquote, one punch everyone at this gag, he can never lose. And yes, I mean he'd make it up to the gods, except he'd be below Beerus and shit like that. But he'd be comparable to Goku
because Beerus is immune to gag powers, basically. Yeah, I think this is due to the fact that Beerus is always supposed to be above everyone he fights except for the other gods. I think that's his whole jip. He's just supposed to be able to destroy anybody he fights, because Rayleigh literally defeated Vegeta because she was supposed to be a gag character and he was supposed to be a action shonen character, right? And and Vegeta was also able to change his fighting style to a gag character to actually land hits on Rayleigh, which is very interesting. But with that being said, Rayleigh was swapping blows with Super Saiyan Blue Goku, and then Goku was even though Goku acknowledged she was a gag character, by the way, Rayleigh has better feats than Saitama, right? She cracked the sun, fucking punched planets into each other and all kinds of shit. And
she was playing pinball with the fucking planets too.
She literally cracked Earth in the Dragon Ball Super episode, and then it came back together in the next scene for no reason. So yeah, she is a gag character. And even though Goku and Vegeta acknowledged, hey, she's a gag character, you're yeah, your powers, your gag shit is not going to work on Beerus, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even if you wanked Saitama, even if you said, oh, Saitama can punch with half the force of the Big Bang, even though the author never actually said that, that's just a fan rumor. Even if you said he punched with half the force of the Big Bang, Beerus has actually punched with half the force of the Big Bang. I think actually 2 times, right? So
more than that.
Versus Goku, he was going to obliterate he's going to obliterate a macrocosm, which is bigger than a universe, just by punching. And versus Champa, he was going to destroy the universe. So you have, oh, wow, the fans think Saitama can punch with half the force of the Big Bang versus actually punched with half the force of the Big Bang while not even using 1% of his power. Because as we know, the Dragon Ball God scale got retconned, right? That's no longer in effect. So if you say that Goku absorbed Super Saiyan God into his base form, and then you stack the Super Saiyan multipliers, which can make only 400 times stronger than that, Beerus, not even using 1% of his power, could punch with the force of the fucking Big Bang, which is absolutely fucking insane. And by the looks of it, no matter how strong Goku gets, even if he stacks all these forms onto his base form, gets Super Saiyan Blue, multiplies that by 10 with Kaioken, fucking becomes 10 times stronger, gets Kaioken again, Beerus is just still stronger. It's just Beerus' purpose to always be above Goku and any character in the series that's not a god. That's what it pretty much seems like it's going to be. So Saitama really has nothing on him. And I mean, if you compare say Saitama versus Boros, right? In Saitama versus Boros, they're cracking some buildings on Boros' spaceship. Saitama splits the atmosphere with a serious punch. And Boros was going to destroy the surface of the Earth or the planet. Okay. And Saitama used a serious punch. And the Saitama's hey, you were pretty strong, but I didn't need to go all out against you, right? So he thought someone that was only planetary was pretty strong. which is very interesting, especially when you consider the fact that Beerus and Champa, when they were fighting, they're pretty much like Boros versus Saitama, except for destroying buildings, they were destroying planets with their punches. Like they're actually destroying
casually too.
Casually, they were doing it on accident. Like Beerus would dodge a punch from Champa, and Champa would come flying in at fast and light speeds and just blow up fucking massive planets on accident just by punching them.
Then they were basically just like, "Oh, I'm tired of this shit. I'm just gonna blow up the universe. I don't care anymore."
Yeah, and then we from Vals were like, knock it the fuck off, y'all wildin', right? So when it comes to feats, lore, anything, even a gag character Saitama with half the power of the Big Bang cannot compare to Beerus. Okay, could he take on God Goku if he was a gag character? Sure, but that's up for debate, and we've actually have a video on that that proves Saitama's more of a parody character than a gag character. But if you're absolutely fucking insistent, that's where he would be, about Goku's level. But if he was a parody character like he fucking should be, now where is he?
Okay, so first we have to go over like his feats, right? So we do know that he traveled faster than light speeds, like, you know, when he jumped from the moon back to Earth when Boros like punted him up there.
Yeah, relativistic speeds at least.
And, you know, if we assume that he was 1% of his power, you know, which is pretty generous. Well, I mean, I'm being generous here for the, you know, the ones that think he's fucking omnipotent.
We're highballing. Right? This is a highball of Saitama's feats.
Boros is kind of strange to scale because you have the webcomic and the manga, you know, so that he's basically surface level. The guide implies either surface or planetary. It can be implied as either one. Yeah. And the anime implies planetary. So basically you have 2 to 2, right? So you can't like say one's greater than the other. So you can either have Boros at the very least continental and at the very most like up to planetary, right? You could say planetary plus if you say that he uses attack when he was already weakened or whatnot, so he could have probably used more power. But, you know, Saitama with 1% of his power basically like punched that shit away. We played that with 1% of his power, then he'd be like 100 times
if you highballed Saitama and you said he only used 1% of his power. Right. So basically he said Boros was strong. Okay, and the time that Planet Busters first appear is actually Piccolo. Piccolo was confirmed a small Planet Buster when he obliterated the moon. That blast would actually be able to destroy Mercury. If it actually hit, that's at least, you know, over 300 exatons of force to obliterate the moon in a few seconds like that. So really, Planet Busters are around the Saiyan sagas, right? I mean, at best, at absolute best, you could say Boros is maybe Vegeta level, honestly. I'd say Vegeta would honestly be way too much for him because Vegeta, as we've seen with King Vegeta can swipe like multiple planets casually. Even Vegeta, with just a flick of his wrist, he shot with 2 fingers, blew up a planet and its moon. He didn't need to use all his power in a planet-busting roar cannon, right? So, I mean, he's probably around Saiyan Saga level. Now, I think we should go over this as well. There's one translation that says his attack is the collapsing star roar cannon. Okay. Name fallacy. Just because your attack is named something doesn't mean that's what it can do. Or else Vegeta's attack, Big Bang attack, means they are as powerful as the Big Bang and just the Android
Universal
saga.
Android saga.
Yeah, that shit does not work. Okay. What else is there? And then you also have
the black hole.
The black hole, right. If that attack was truly a black hole, it would have sucked up fucking everything. All right. And then Boros destroying the planet would not have been such a big deal if this guy's like a fucking star level fodder.
People think it's a black hole, even though, you know, the guy he was fighting, he said, you know what a black hole is, right? So basically comparing the attributes or, you know, like his capability of like changing like the aspects of the room to like, you know, whatever gravity he wanted doesn't mean, oh, it's literally a black hole. Tell me how this makes any sense. So Boros in the manga, right, when he was, you know, kicking and fucking, you know, shitting on Saitama or whatever, he said he took damage. Like it says on the fucking panel right there, he took damage. He has like these marks all over his body, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And you know, Boros did that before he uses a final attack. So, and when we see Saitama with the black hole thing, he doesn't get damaged. So are you trying to tell me that Boros' punches and kicks are above star level and then his strongest attack's planetary?
So let's multiply. Let's say Saitama used 1% to body Boros. And let's say that 100% power, it's like 100 times stronger than he was versus Boros. Okay, just being generous. We've never seen Saitama's full power. That's true. But going off of what we've seen, okay, in the lore, how strong would he be if he was 100 times stronger than that? He'd be around Ginyu Force level, to be honest. I think, to be honest, he would most likely be around Captain Ginyu level, give or take, because first form Frieza, is confirmed high dwarf star level. So, and Saitama, you know, planetary times 100 is not going to reach that. Honestly, Ginyu Force is honestly a very generous, you know, it's very generous to say. Like, all honesty, some people think the Saiyan Saga stomps him. And if you wank him to unbelievable fucking Big Bang jack off fucking whatever the fuck, Beerus would still beat him, and he would most likely just be like God Goku level, give or take. Could he beat God Goku?
Extremely generous.
That's a different argument, but Beerus, he stops at Beerus no matter what.
I've seen this fucking shitty argument. Like we debunked the Saitama fanboys so many times. Like it's like
videos. This comment section is gonna be a war zone.
It's an overplayed fucking like VHS tape, man. Like this is fucking ridiculous. And we've actually addressed like these arguments and shit on him, right? Remember something? You're like, he's a limitless gag character. He's never to be beaten. In your mocking voice. And I mean, people try to say that Thomas Limitless, you know, he's a fucking Superman or whatever. So if you actually look at the webcomic, it says that he broke his limiter. Now, what does this really mean? If you compare, you know, Saitama to like many of the other heroes, you know, he's far above them. And that is not all because he's limitless, because he broke like his human limitations. That is why when he was doing the hero test, he was like fucking shitting on everyone pretty much, you know?
Yeah.
So basically, he overcame what a human would normally be capable of, right? And this is a real life phenomenon too, because you have trainers that, you know, constantly like reach their peak and then they try to overcome it again, right?
Yeah, it's
so
basically
harder and harder.
It's basically plateauing. It means he can't plateau physically, and he's beyond any physical limitation. So like, if a human trained to his absolute limit, Saitama is stronger than that. And then he can get as much stronger as he wants from there by training. Same thing with Goku. Goku is actually stated to be limitless. He has no limits. Other characters like Superman, they don't really have limits either. Like, they have no limits to how strong they can become. So yeah, the whole limitless thing is not a strong argument at all. And basically that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. Be sure to fucking subscribe. Hit that fucking subscribe. Help me hit 100K.
Slap that shit.
Fuck Chuck. Don't subscribe to him. Subscribe to me.
Motherfucker. Roll up right now, man.
Subscribe to this boy right here. Subscribe to your father. All right? Help your daddy out. Anyways.
I'm the pimp master, bro.
Hope you guys enjoyed. Till next time.
Peace out, mofos.